Next up is myself, my company Friel Consulting, alongside my colleague Siobhan Grant from Grant Consulting. We're tasked with, now some, can move this along here. The IT man again, please. We were tasked with, Maria made mention of it there, in terms of now that RenNet is coming to an end and the funding is coming to an end, what will RenNet look like in the future? What does the future hold for RenNet? And I was struck by something that John said earlier on in his presentation, that he felt, and certainly I would share this idea, that RenNet is not at an end but rather at a beginning, that this is an opportunity now. And a large part of my presentation today, I was going to be waxing lyrical about the benefits of networks and the benefits that the members have derived and whatnot. So as I mentioned, what I had intended doing was waxing lyrical about business networks and the benefits of business networks and what's the point of business networks. I was going to talk about the generation of referrals and increased business. Again, the fellas have articulated this much better than I can today, and they have actually done it rather than an outside consultant coming in and saying this is what can happen. The fellas are example, and again, Bert is going to speak about this after, about what actually does happen. So things like connections, the connections that have been made, and again, they have alluded to it, and I'm sure Bert will allude to it again, the opportunities that have been created. Christy has given us a fantastic example of the trip over to Austria and him coming back with a very tangible benefit in business networking and whatnot, the advice that has been given, the peer-to-peer learning. Very often, one of the benefits, it's a very soft benefit that can be gotten, it's very hard to quantify, but the benefits that come with like-minded individuals, other sole traders. We've listened to Michael mention earlier on about the challenges of being a sole trader, not having someone to bounce ideas off and whatnot. RenNet provides that for them. So the story so far, Christy has mentioned it already, the trip to Austria, creating 2 new jobs here in Donegal, sourcing a new product that is working wonders for his business, so that's fantastic. And also we've heard from Michael earlier on talking about the jobs and the supports that he has received from RenNet. So it goes without saying that I think, to again repeat what John has said, what has happened to date and the sterling work and the foundation that Joanne and her team have put in place, that can't go to waste. This has to be a start rather than an end. So how can we ensure that these successes that exist, the peer-to-peer learning, the best practice visits, the communal website, the training opportunities, the external facilitation, the collaborative trade shows, again, you're going to see a great example of it later on today, and hopefully every one of the exhibitors will have a very good show and will generate new business from it. How can we ensure this continues? So with that in mind, there are a number of key issues that need to be addressed. First and foremost, and hopefully I think this question has been addressed already today, is there an appetite amongst members for the network to continue? If indeed there is an appetite, what model will this new entity take? How will it be funded? A very one word up there, but a huge question and a huge challenge to be addressed. Who will participate, and what do the group wish to achieve? There are a very divergent range of members within the group, so ensuring that we get and establish common aims and objectives so that the group can work together, therein is a challenge. And geographically, how will the group continue to exist? Obviously, we've seen earlier on that the group currently covers a very large geographic area. How can we manage that in the future? Is it possible to continue to cover that large geographic area? Will the clusters be in different areas, etc., etc.? So there are a number of questions still to be addressed. So currently there are a number of other similar models in operation, the like of the Plato network, which is currently in operation in the East Border region. We could put in place a self-funded, something like the Donegal Engineering Association, which previously existed, that members get together and organise something on their own bat. The SkillNet network, which is a training regime, is run here in the Republic of Ireland only, but it may be something that we could engineer a model which may be of benefit to incumbent ProfitNet members. We have BNI, Business Network International. We have the ProfitNet network, which has been run very successfully for a number of years here by the local enterprise organisation, still calling them the Enterprise Board. So it may be an amalgam of some of these. There may be another one that is established, or we may want to look at something different altogether. So these are questions that need to be addressed. In terms of potential funding options, SkillNet, as I've alluded to already on, are an entity. They actually have a measure available now. They are taking applications for new networks. That measure closes on the 23rd of March. And the local enterprise organisation have expressed an interest in perhaps following up with RenNet and pursuing something to this end. A new profit net group is a possibility. Again, the LEO have been in touch with ourselves and suggested that this may be something that could be accommodated within the profit net umbrella. Leader funding, which comes to an end at the end of this year, is an option. It may be self-funded. We could ask the participants, and in light of some of the great success stories that we've heard earlier on, would participants be willing to pay for this network? Certainly when you see some of the benefits that they've derived, I think a payment is not an unreasonable request. So that is something that we'll have to put to members. The COSME programme for clusters is something that is available that we can explore further. And lastly, the Northern Periphery and Arctic programme is again something that is currently in play and something that we can explore further. Horizon 2020, is again a final funding option. So there are a number of options there that we can explore as part of any new entity. And the road ahead, very simply, is this is a debate that Siobhan and I suppose, have just initiated. It's a debate that's ongoing. We've had an awful lot of feedback over the couple of weeks that we've been on this project. And to that end, what we're doing is we're inviting all incumbent ProfitNet members and indeed any new members that wish to join, in light of the success stories that you've heard today, in light of the excellent trade show that's going on next door and whatnot. I think there are other members that will want to come on board, and with a view to exploring what model and what shape it'll take and what appropriate funding streams we will approach. We're having a meeting here. It's actually at 6:30. Excuse me, I've said 7 in my presentation. It's here on Wednesday the 11th of November, and that meeting will obviously be a key driver in terms of shaping the potential future face of RenNet. But as John says, I think it's imperative that today has to be seen not as an end, but as a beginning.